fiqh or halal haram. Essentially, this is an issue of creed. It's an issue of belief, right? This is where it first starts off at, right? And we can teach our young people how to be respectful to people who openly commit certain sins or promote them, and at the same time, keep our spiritual distance and safety from those people of not inclining towards them. We can treat it like we know people who openly celebrate fornication in society. We work with people like this. We don't have to encourage that behavior, but we can show general respect for their humanity. Right? So we don't dehumanize people who are involved in it. At the same time, we don't do tasdeeq or affirmation of that. But we have to be very clear, firstly, on certain theological boundaries, and our creed starts with the Quran. Gender is a divine construct, number one. Number two, there is no what is called jabr, meaning fatalism, that God does not compel people or force people who are sane to act against their will. This is a very important theological point right here I'm making right here, right? Almighty God doesn't make something forbidden to then compel someone against their will to do that which he forbade them for, that then he could punish them for. It's outside of God's justice. It actually was a deviant group in early Islamic history called it Al-Mujabbara that actually held this belief of Jabr, right? This is theologically incorrect, right? You can't tell me, and we need to give examples. If a man has the discipline to get a high school degree, to go to university, to obey the general laws of the land, who can obey and understand speed limits, if they can obey all of these secular laws and have the discipline to study, but don't have the discipline to control their sexual appetites, that person is a liar.
That's right.
That person is a liar. It is an appetite like any other appetite. A man can love and have their shahwa for women. It doesn't mean you can go around and have 100 different women. We have laws and rules, right? There are rules in the sacred law, but then there are also rules within the society of custom. And one of the biggest problems that we've had in Black America, to be specific, is that we've come to accept the unacceptable. Culturally speaking, those things that were never accepted amongst Black people in our society have now become acceptable. So this is more so of a cultural jihad. Imam Muhammad talked about years ago when we were younger about forming what we would call committees for cultural critique, right? Some of y'all old enough to remember that. Cultural critique, when there are certain things popping off in society, in political language, in Hollywood or whatever, that we would have a critique and then we would dissect it, that it can make sense for our people and then give our people alternative language. Remember how I talk about language, right? Language makes people. So a lot of these things, we have to put our young people in the proper language environment, right? To give them an alternative. Because, like you said, Atlanta is now considered the most friendly homosexual, lesbian, transgender city in America, supposedly surpassed at San Francisco. I don't know if it's true or not, but we know that Atlanta used to be known before as the quote-unquote Black Mecca for Black America. How did Atlanta become, how was Atlanta in the 80s and 90s seen as a Black Mecca for the African American people, and now it's known to be the capital of debauchery for Black America, from the trap rappers and the drugs and the gangsterism to the sexual deviancy? Atlanta's known for strip club culture. How did that be? It's a plan.
Yes. That's true.
It was imposed on this place because people understand what Atlanta represents to our people. They did that intentionally. Because Detroit's nowhere off the hook as Atlanta is. I'm gonna tell you now. We're a very violent city, but as far as some of the stuff that you have popping off here, like with the gangster, with the trap rap, and the so-called gentlemen's clubs, and the sexual confusion, we don't have it in Detroit like you all have it here. I'm gonna keep it straight. And you are in the South. That's also which is so troubling. You in the South. You're not up in the so-called liberal North. You in the South. That's Shaitan. Anyway, we have. I'll take maybe one or two more. I'll try to be briefer. We'll get the elder brother and then you, and then we'll close, inshallah. Now, so there's a sister. Okay, so to be fair, let me get the sister first, and then we'll get you and close. Bismillah.